Hi, it's February 4th, 2022. Welcome to LMG Daily. My name is Lady Means Goforth. Life means go forth on the daily. Okay, I'm coming back at you with some topics. I'm going to slide my popcorn on over here because I've been researching and watching some videos and reading. And I want to touch bases on a few things, and then I want to go into two of my Black History Month topics. Happy Black History Month, pro-blackness, power to the people. I am just so indulged with so much information to where people trying to take away Black History Month yet again, keep it going. They trying to keep it going for taking away our little 28 days, honey. I mean, we already get the shortest month in the year. Leave it alone. So, that being said, that's one thing. Another thing that I also want to touch bases on, I mean, you can actually agree to disagree. Now, I'm not a person that is going to, go to school and try to be on the first sorority or fraternity for, if I was a guy, sorority. But that being said, there are a lot of people that like to go that route. Now, that being said, honey, what's going on with these bomb threats? I mean, this hasn't happened January 5th, 2022 and January 29th, 2022. So within a 24-day time, you've had a bomb threat on historical Black college. Really. There's a lot of issues that's been going on through history, past, present, and I'm trying to be one of those people who help stop it from becoming a future problem. But this thing has been going consistently for a very long time. I mean, don't y'all ever get tired of causing chaos and evilness and, division? Y'all need to sit down somewhere, for real. It don't make any sense. It just really don't make any sense to keep all this stuff going on. So, to shed the light soon, I want to talk about something else, but I really want and hope that these HBCUs bomb threats stop. These domestic threats stop. Because, you guys, we're heading in the wrong direction. We really are. And it's not just going to hurt and harm the adults. It's going to hurt and harm the children, the elderly, everyone. So, stop being so reckless and careless with your acts. Because, somebody else is going to be caught up in a mix by your stupidness. And it is stupid. It's very stupid. It's 2022. All these people done died already. It's just stupid. So, at one point they used to tell you not to use that word because that word is harsh. But I feel that the word suits the conditions. These are harsh conditions that are going on right now. It's already people going hiking and missing. Then you got people just, contracting stuff that others don't put in the air. and they dying and missing. And then you have corrupt people, racist people that are causing harm to others, killing them, harming them. So I mean, it's just so much. So I mean, give us a chance to look at brighter days. Grab something positive out of the atmosphere. If we have that much of evilness and we have just that little hold of positivity, sooner or later it's going to consume us. So, we can't do that. We can't have that. We need our positive atmosphere any way we can get it. Even though when we go through our rain, we still need that sun, like this light, to peek through the clouds. So, and give us hope. Now, I did get word that Arizona, the state of Arizona, have been on the coattails of this voter suppression thing. And I'm really disappointed by that. And, more so it being Navajo Nation, like, I'm very disappointed because I feel that people who know the struggle shouldn't put others through a struggle. I'm just not blaming it on the Navajo Nation as a whole, but there are people that control the state. And there are people that control say-so over certain things. And people that control the elders, the chiefs that control the reservation, they have, the say-so upon their stuff. But they really don't try to get into governmental affairs. But the ones that do, the brave ones that do, because they do know that domino effect is going to eventually hit them. It's good to know. It's good to know. It's just really good to know. Now, moving forward on the positive light. Coach Brian Flores. Y'all, whoever's been following, you do know that I've been standing with Colin Kaepernick in solidarity for the NFL and its actions against individuals protesting and deciding to kneel with the singing of the anthem, the national anthem. That national anthem hasn't applied to a lot of dark-skinned folks for a long time. For a long time. We have really had to scrape and fight just to get a lot of stuff. I mean, simple stuff. Taxes paid, owning a house ownership, owning a car, owning land, things of that sort. I mean, we really had to go the extra mile when, another person probably wouldn't even have to go through that much, and probably were given the information to do what they need to do without question. So that being said, I commend him for stepping up and not being silenced. I commend him for not sitting by and watching everybody suffer, and just say, well, as long as I can eat. I commend him for that, because it takes a true person, a true stand-up individual that know it's best to do right and wrong. Yeah, it's best to lead and follow. Yeah, I commend you for that, because we're like-minded people. And we have to stop settling for where we are, because you might be comfortable in your position, but what about the ones that's on the side of you, that's in front of you, that's behind you? I keep going back to that Michael Jackson song, What About Us? It just sticks with you. Excuse me. Now, with that being said, we have to touch on the basis of what Mr. Flores is trying to say. He's basically putting it out there that there have been discriminatory practices within the NFL in their hiring process of the coaches. That being said, if you're doing that at the top, you're doing that at the bottom. Okay. Now, I just commend you. Salute. Salute, salute. I commend you. And I'm waiting on somebody to do one for the whole United States of America. Let me get my John Hancock. This lady called me. She said, "We're going to need you to sign." I ain't signing. What? I'm not. No. I have learned to watch what you put your signature on, people. Watch what you put your signature on. If you have to ask questions and they say, "Well, I plan on taking a lunch." Okay, well, we can sign it after you take your break then. You know, you have to be careful what you're signing. For real. You have to read. If you don't understand the word, sound that word out. Get up on Siri. Siri was SECTE. You know, for real. Gotta do it. Google, do it. If you gotta Google it, Google it. So, that being said, I commend you, Coach. Appreciate you. Well, we're not gonna stay there too long. We're gonna move on, but you gonna be mentioned again. I promise you, by me and a lot of other people. You will be mentioned again. On a good note. Now, that being said, another one that I have to come back and touch bases on is Miss Whoopi Goldberg. My lookalike. Honey, let me tell you. This 2-week suspension topic, y'all, I don't know why, but ever since I was taught this in school about the Holocaust, I've always wondered about us. Like, they mention it. Everybody else. What about us? So I'm telling you, when it was 1980, I'm going to have to Google that, the exact time when Michael came out with that song. I don't want to speculate. But anyway, I still have the Janet documentary in my brain, y'all. That was good. Honey, she told her own story. I love it. So, back to Miss Whoopi. Honey, if I was Miss Whoopi, I'd be like, look, let me weigh my pros and cons about this situation here. Oh, this could be a book. And it really could be. She can make money off of the money, honestly, because nobody cannot tell you that you can't write a book about a situation that's happening to you. Just like I was going through this program and trying to find a program. And so they was like, well, you can make your own this and you can make your own that. You can do this and you can do that. And so I'm looking at all these different opportunities. So I'm like, oh, just head about to pop off, getting hype and everything. And then you see down below, there's a trial period. And after that trial period, this is what you're going to pay. And you're like, So, it's it's not funny, but when it start happening to you more so than less, you start to realize, okay, in order to keep, you know, what oomph I got, I better laugh instead of crying about the situation. Ha 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 ha. You know, you have to do reverse psychology to keep yourself moving, especially when you're going through a valley. You have to keep yourself riding until you get up that hill to that peak. So, that being said, that's what I want to do. I want to tell Whoopi, honey, you know what you know. Can't nobody take that from you. That's one thing. Um, you have Alzheimer's, dementia, things that happen to you that sort. But other than those things and death, you're gonna always have your knowledge. Unless you occur a memory loss, you know, most high forbid, you're always gonna, once you learn something, there's gonna be something that's gonna trigger it back, a keyword, something you may see, look, hear. So even smell, So that being said, we have come to know Jews through the telling of the Holocaust. But when I found out that they left out the black Jews, the Afro Germans, so then I learned that the black Jews were not referred to as black Jews. They were considered as Hebrew or Hebrew Israelites. Something else to confuse us. So, that being said, I started researching the people of Israel. Yeah, when I say some of the people of Israel is darker than me, honey. I said, no, wait a minute. Wait. Wait. So, you have the Israelis, and then you have the Jews. So I'm like, who come up with this? Because Jewish people are in Israel. They are around the world. But they are a religion that base themselves. Like, if you would say, okay, you're Christian. Are you a Jehovah's Witness? Are you Catholic? I don't even know why they come up with so many denominations. Anyway, another confusion point. Stop playing games, y'all. So it come to a point to where you realize, like, and then you start looking at Jewish people, and you look at them, and you're like, they don't look like these people. But they have their faith. So we have to draw the line. But you made an invisible line. Like, what? So it's very technical. because I messed around and I've done this, and it's absolutely ridiculous for it to be like this, but it's all originated from greed and power. People wanting to separate individuals for control. So you have the German people saying that, okay, some of us are Catholic and some of us are this and some of us are Jewish, some of us are this. Okay, so why he only targeted those people? But he didn't. Hitler didn't just target one class of individuals. We were taught to believe that. Yeah. It's not a rabbit hole, but yet you kind of feel like it. But then you have to feel like, okay, wait a minute. Is the rabbit hole the knowledge that you're getting, the truth that you're getting? Or is the rabbit hole what you're living in? The matrix. So, you're like, it plays with you a little bit. So you have to humor yourself and getting down to what's really real. So, that being said, South Carolina is one of the 13 colonies. When you think about colony, what word comes to your mind? Colonizer. That's what comes to my mind because it's in there, right in the word. So, there was a debate one time that colonizer was a racist term. I've heard people use that term. I think yes, I have used that term myself to a white supremacist. Yes. Yes. During the protest, yes, I did. He was yelling out, "You trying to steal our history? You trying to steal our land?" I immediately froze. You have the audacity to really believe this? So that's when I really realized that there are a lot of people here that are very delusional, brainwashed on both sides. There are both sides of the coin, delusional and brainwashed. They done messed up a lot of folks with this craziness. How they been filling out this paperwork wrong. They done messed up a lot of folks. And it's like they don't want to know the truth. There's no coming back. Like it's set in stone. Where's the stone? So it's like you don't understand the back and forth in your brain. It does, to think that you can be put on suspension for saying something that's potentially correct. Because the Jewish people derived off the religion. They made their race. It wasn't just automatically created. they made their race. Hebrews automatically created. Why and how? Because just like they did, they branched off. So if you want to look at it that way, as a racist thing, how about all the times everyone ever said any racial conclusion or non-conclusion of somebody of the black race, were they suspended? This is just recently happening, which I'm glad people are turning over a new leaf. But when someone mentions something about an indigenous individual, a black person, Afro-American, I mean, we have so many names. Why so many names? We have so many names from society. What they labeled us, what we labeled ourselves to be set apart from the rest. I mean, come on. Do y'all know what y'all doing to the children? Y'all confusing the hell out of them. I mean, they got a lot to learn already. I mean, you just adding shit. It's crazy. But anyway, straight to S word for the record. It gets frustrating. It really does, because I'm a person that puts themselves in other people's shoes. I think outside the box. So even with little children, I put myself in like, I'm going to be learning my ABCs and my 1, 2, 3s, and I got multiplications and fractions and decimal points and what? So because it really was a mind blower when I really realized that the history that we were being taught was not the correct history. I mean, seriously, I shut down for about a month because it blew my mind when I started learning so many different other things about my people, and learning that, what? We been here? Okay, first, it was, a dream. And when it came to me, I said, oh, okay, my grandfather told me about this, so, I already understand. And then it just come across, indigenous this and indigenous that and indigenous this, like the computer read my mind. So I was like, okay, this is getting really weird here. So then I started clicking on some of the subtitles that were coming past. And I ran upon Brother Dane Calloway. And I listened to him. And he just like caught my attention for about an hour. Then, after I clicked up him, there was something else, know your roots, know thyself, the representation of the Ankh, different African symbols and signs, different African and Native American signs, different indigenous signs of the South. So then I was like, wait a minute, hold up. And so now I have to get better with pronouncing these. But there is Creek, Choctaw, I'm gonna have to get back with y'all with the tribes for real. But anyway, a lot of the people in the South have derived from these tribes. Let them tell you you got off the boat you want to. So, it's just amazing how the colonizers, they went through so many lengths to erase our history, and they're still trying. I was speaking with someone, and I happened to just had to abruptly end the conversation because the African History Network had come across my computer with this message. And so after, I was looking at the, Whoopi situation, and I was like, man, they ought to get really, just seriously stop that. Because even though she's Jewish, she can't really say she's Jewish just like that. They accept it better if you just say you're Hebrew. And if you really want to go to the temple and practice and be out there like that, tag that Israelite onto it. But we are who we are. We are who we are. The bottom line is we're indigenous. If you have people who originated from any of these 13 colonies, you have to realize that they were more than just who you think were there. So, and a lot of the people that were along and went along with Trail of Tears were indigenous Native Americans. You will say indigenous people. They say Indians. However, it just really saddens me that it's so many things that's against us, and then we come against ourselves. It's just, it bewilders me. Like, to have a trained mind like that you just can't get out of. I guess that's when the part of the matrix that says, we want to take the red pill or the blue pill. So, this is Black History Month. African American History Month. Now, people want to take that away. Why? Why? It's because of the new Jim Crow. They're trying to make this a new Jim Crow era. The white supremacists feel that they're supreme, and they're trying to declare we're going to stay that way. But you have to understand, I've never thought myself to be inferior to anyone. Even when the little girl tried to make me think that I was inferior. No, I'm not. That is one thing you're not going to have me believe, because for one, you came here. My ancestors were already here. So how am I just that part? Just that part alone. How am I inferior to you? And when someone tries to make me believe that, that makes me believe that they're a colonizer. Just automatically. Whenever you try to make me believe, I don't care, you're white or you're black. If you try to make me believe that I'm inferior to you, I'm going to think that you are a house nigga. And if you're a black person, honestly, I'm going to think you're a house slave. Right up the top. That being said, I want to give you certain examples of why I say the new Jim Crow. Because I paid attention to this separate but equal examination in South Carolina. That has been a figment of our imaginations for a while. We wouldn't have a financial gap that's like this. We would have a financial gap that's like this if we were more separate but equal to here. The fire at will. I think that's about the biggest Jim Crow thing that they got right now going on in the workforce. That is the biggest Jim Crow exhibit of authority, abuse of it, that I've ever seen. When I seen that, when I found that out in the workforce, I think it took me, was I out of high school yet? Yes, I think so. I think it was out of high school. And I went to work and I'm trying to remember if it's Renfro I worked, or was it APEC? Well, it was one of those two. I've worked a lot of places. And that's also how I knew I had to become an entrepreneur. When you work so many places, and it just seems like even if they do say that you're a good fit, you feel like you're not a good fit yourself. Even though you know the job, you're performing well, you just feel like this is not me. This is not me. And a lot of the abuse of authority in the workplace and the toxic, he said, she said, and look at what she got on today, and just pettiness. So I knew, like, okay, yeah. And then once you start helping leaders and supervisors, and you just the average Joe employee, you're like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be in your position if I'm helping you. So, but moving on, I mean, you got to have rights and people to actually enforce those rights for you, uphold those rights for you. If you don't have that, you guys, we're not doing anything but treading water. We ain't swimming nowhere. equal opportunity employers. A lot of people say something that they're not. I'm going to tell you that part. Because they will say your wage may vary between $8 to $11. Okay. Now you can go in and you can say, okay, I've done this job before. I have such and such and such experience, and resume is flawless. Going in, and you do your interview. You do your drug screen, background check, pass it. You may have to pay for it out of your pocket. You may not, which is ridiculous. And then they come back to you and they said, okay, everything is good. We're going to call you for your orientation and your start date or your training. Your start date, and we'll go through everything else then, your onboarding. That being said, okay, you're going in all willy-nilly and everything, and you look at your paperwork and you're starting to get ready to sign it, and you look at all of this experience I have, and they're only going to pay me $8.75. What? Man, I got over 10 years experience in this. And then you start rolling through your head and you start looking at, this is how they see me. This is how they see my worth. I'm worth more than this. But my car payment coming up, light bill coming up, baby needs some shoes. I have been there. And y'all, you just don't know. Just getting by is stressful, and the stress puts a toll on you. And there are a lot of people who have started seeing that and start waking up and realizing, okay, let me find another option to my life, to being with my family, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's around the corner. So that being said, people just living and learning. And I'm hoping that we all can come together on one accord and understand that we can't do this with just one race of people. It's going to have races of people unifying together for truth and seeing a better tomorrow for their children and their children's children and themselves for the time that we have left. So when I was going into looking at what happened with Miss Goldberg there, it's like she can come up out of this, because honestly and truly, if you look at it, she's running at work. She okay, but that's not the point. The point is of something being taken out of perception. Is one's perception to see a Jewish person and know that that Jewish person is a Jew because of their Jewish religion. You don't look at a Jew and say that's your race, because it's more associated with religion. Mr. Cross has a book that explains that. I posted it up on my Facebook, and even though I haven't read the entire book, I referenced it and scammed through it. skin through it. And that's another thing my mother told me. She used to say, "You talk like a black Jew." Ooh, I took offense to that. Ooh, I took offense to that. I really did. I mean, not saying anything against black Jews, but for me personally, at the time, we being Southern Baptist and all, I'm like, I didn't know how to act, but that's not knowing. That's not knowing your true self. Once you know yourself, you're able to, you tripping. You're able to brush things off a little bit better once you know yourself. Because it gives you confidence to know yourself. So, also that being said, to go up on that, I may have ran over a little, so I actually want to pick up on part 2. So I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to pick up on part 2. And on part 2, we're going to continue to emphasize things that are happening right now that also associate with Black History Month, and knowing ourselves and finding yourself out and understanding that it's better for us to work together than against each other. And that being said, my name is Lady Means Goforth. This has been LMG Daily, signing off.